Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. And late breaking rumor tonight. I'm recording this on late night on Thursday, February 19th. And this came out earlier tonight. So we're going to talk about it tonight. This is going to post on February 20th. But about a week ago, I highlighted that there was a DoorDash partnership with Hyatt that was expected to run until about April of this year. And I was speculating if that was going to lead to something bigger tonight during the Stack Your Points live that we were doing, and I did my own live as an emergency, just threw it up there mid live on Stack Your Points. We came across this Doctor of Credit article, and we're going to share the screen here about a new World of Hyatt credit card. So we're going to share a screen, unsubstantiated rumor, new Chase Park Hyatt card, the $795 annual fee, category 9 and 10 properties, and more. So the Chase Park Hyatt Premium Card, $795 annual fee, 100-point welcome bonus, automatic Explorer status, annual category 1 to 5 certificate, 20 qualifying nights deposited at start of year, 10 qualifying nights for every $15,000 in spend, earn Globalist with an additional 20 qualifying nights. Important distinction. Globalist earned through the card will function similarly to a corporate status match. Members receive full tier benefits, but milestone rewards such as confirmed suite upgrade awards and My Hyatt Concierge will not trigger until 60 qualifying nights are actually earned through stays and spend. It would come with a $400 Hyatt Statement Credit, $200 credited twice annually, access to the Sapphire and Priority Pass Lounge network, and the card would earn in the following rates: 10 times earning at Hyatt's, 3 times earning at dining, 3 times earning on direct airline bookings. Category changes: introduction of a new category 9 and 10 properties. Category 9 would be 50,000 points per night as standard pricing, so higher or lower depending on peak or off peak. Category 10, 60,000 points per night standard pricing. Very few properties would be 9 or 10 at launch. Possible only category 10 property would be the Park Hyatt Kyoto at launch, presumably, with most category 9 will be Park Hyatt. So think Park Hyatt Central Park, the one at Central Park, and other areas across the globe. Free night certificates will be upgraded, e.g., 1 to 4 becomes 1 to 5. So that would be a nice little buff to the World Hyatt card. Ability to top off certificates will be formalized. So Explorers will be able to top off a 1 to 5 certificate up to a category 7 property. Globalists will be able to top off a 1 to 5 or 1 to 8 certificate. So if you have a 1 to 7 certificate, that would also get bumped to a 1 to 8. 1 to 5 or 1 to 8 to any property if you're globalist. Amongst amount charged for topping off a certificate will be based on the standard redemption rate. So if a category 5 is this much, right, then it would be the difference between 7 and 5, I think. That would make the most sense. Introduction of super peak for select service properties, cap of 10 super peak nights per property per calendar year. So instead of traditional peak award bands, pricing during those windows would be tied to a fixed 1.5 cent per point floor until it reaches the peak pricing of 2 categories higher than the hotel's assigned category. So example, if a category 3 Hyatt Place is retailing at $450 during a major event, redemption pricing would float to 23,000 points, which reflect category 5 peak pricing and remains below what a strict 1.5 cent per point calculation would otherwise produce. Okay, so some dynamicism entering the fray with the super peak pricing, but you can only do 10 super peak nights per year per property. So nice little band there. This is potentially Hyatt continuing to commit to the award chart. Makes a certain amount of sense. And then the verdict from Doctor of Credit is Chase sent out a survey regarding a premium Hyatt card before, but that was at a much lower annual fee than this. Recently, it was announced that Chase and Hyatt would be launching more cards. March is generally when award category changes from Hyatt are made as well. The timing aligns, but obviously anybody that was going to go to the trouble of making something like this up would normally try to make it believable as well. I suspect that if this is true, the leaks are coming from Hyatt rather than Chase. In any case, I really enjoy wildly speculating about this. So that is Doctor of Credit, but this is the anonymous Reddit user from here, and we've got the full their full article. Upcoming award changes, category 9 and 10 being introduced, going through that there. Do not expect non-Park Hyatt properties to land in category 9 or 10. There is a strong internal push to further elevate Park Hyatt as the true super premium flag within the portfolio. The upper tier award bands are being used in reference to reinforce that positioning. Okay. The objective is long-term sustainability at the very top of the portfolio while preserving the core structure of the award chart. Free night awards and top off certificates are expanding upwards. So category 1 to 4 becomes category 1 to 5, category 1 to 7 becomes category 1 to 8. Top off functionality is being formalized and expanded. Explorers, I already covered this. The top off amount will be based on the standard redemption rate of a category 5 or category 8. It will reference standard pricing only. For example, topping off a category 5 certificate into a category 7 would cost anywhere from 5,000 to 15,000 points, depending on the property's standard award band. Super peak mechanic for select service, already covered that. There's an internal cap of 10 super peak nights per property per calendar year. Premium card launch, we already highlighted everything on the premium. Card holders will earn Globalist with 20 additional qualifying nights. Important distinction. Strategic direction. The broader objectives are clear. Create pricing elasticity at the top of the portfolio without abandoning the award chart. Protect select service properties during major event compression. Deliver a true ultra premium credit card product aligned with Park Hyatt positioning, and preserve milestone integrity by keeping the most valuable benefits tied to meaningful engagement. That is the framework as it stands. Now, this user also mentioned something about Suite Upgrade Awards on this post. So let's go scroll down to them. There's a push that says that this is unsubstantiated AI slap. This person went through GPT-0. I researched 5 others like Quillbot and some others, and all of those said that this is not AI. So this person's on a vendetta just using one source. No. Anyway, the same poster says, one other bone I will throw, the next major change is coming to how Suite Upgrade Awards work. Suite Upgrades Awards won't be able to be combined with points bookings after January 2028 unless you're an Explorist or higher. Explorist will be able to apply Suite Upgrade Awards to category 1 to 7s. Globalists will be able to apply Suite Upgrade Awards to any property with an open standard suite. There you go. One other thing I think that's going to be going away in the not too distant future is the ability to gift or sell Suite Upgrade Awards and Guest of Honor Awards. It's a nice little loophole that I am certain Hyatt wants to close as soon as possible. But why I think that this kind of lines up properly and not this is just pure BS. It's lining up right when the award chart would be changing. So if Hyatt's going to announce a new award chart category of category 9 and category 10, March is when this happens. We are less than 2 weeks from March. The award chart changes that are announced in March go into effect in April. And April is when the DoorDash membership is currently set to expire. So it stands to reason, if I'm going to pull this thread a little bit, and just stick with me here because we're just working with a very unsubstantiated rumor, but what sounds like much more solid unsubstantiated than one would think, because this is probably coming from Hyatt. Why I would think this? Most rumors and leaks that we've been seeing come out lately have been true. We've looked at rumored changes to this card. Oh no, the rumored changes are usually spot on. So I would assume that this card will come with additional credits, additional things from Chase that Chase will lock in, a Dash Pass membership, DoorDash credits, hopefully better freaking framed than the Sapphire Reserve credits, which are just terrible. I like them. They're fine, but like $5 on dining is stupid. And the two $10 credits are also annoying. I use them. I make my purchases. But yeah, they need to be fixed. But Dash Pass promotion ends in April. April is when the award chart the new award chart goes live. It stands to reason if you're going to introduce a category 9 and category 10, you're going to do it in March. You're going to introduce it in April. You're going to launch a new card at the premium end in April. Now, we don't know what else would be the earning categories on this card. The World of Hyatt card has a bunch of 2x categories that you can do. This would be 3x on dining because it's a Chase card. Why not? And 3x on flights booked directly. That makes a certain amount of sense, especially if you're going to book American Airlines flights and try and play into Hyatt and American Airlines partnership. I don't know how well Chase wants to do that, but they have that option. They're keeping the integrity of milestone rewards by just giving you effectively Globalist Light, like what you get with a status match. And then if you want to earn Globalist, you have to earn Globalist the way that they prescribe that you earn Globalist. So there's that. I think this is a legit rumor. I think that we could see this card as early as April. I think that we could see a refresh to the World of Hyatt card launch in April. And since Hyatt and Chase have committed to introducing more cards, the very premium end makes a certain amount of sense to plant a flag there. Then there's a huge gap between 95 and 795. There's room for another card in between. And if they're going to go with Park Hyatt is our absolute like banger flagship, you're going to get the Park Hyatt card for the top of the line. What's to say that a Grand Hyatt credit card, the Chase Grand Hyatt, wouldn't fall in between at 350, 450, something like that. That card not necessarily getting all of the bells and whistles that this card would get, but this card has the same price as the Sapphire Reserve. Also, I would expect to see a Discover status added to the Chase Sapphire Reserve as like a general perk of the card, and then spend to either Explorist or Globalist as like the 75 or the 75K mark. I think Explorist would make more sense. Now that I think about it, I think I said Discoverist on the live. Explorist would make a lot more sense because Explorist doesn't give you a whole lot different than Discoverist. So like Hyatt can throw out Explorist onto a card, but then keeping pure Globalist really hard to attain with the 60 Knights makes a certain amount of sense. So they want to keep the milestone rewards. This structure would do that. Structure on a card in between would also do that. They want to plant their flag that Park Hyatts are the best, the creme de la creme, making them category 9 and 10 would certainly do that. The dynamicism of the Super Peak and only allowing 10 Super Peak nights a year per property, I could see that. Hyatt is still very committed to the award chart for sure. And so this is a way to keep the award chart, have the ability to put too many properties under pressure with giving them super peak. Like they'll have to pick what super peaks are going to be, and it's going to be different in different areas. A Hyatt in the Ann Arbor area is going to have a different super peak than the Hyatt in the Hudson Valley of New York or a Hyatt in California, because that Ann Arbor Hyatt is probably going to be seeing super peak around the big game, with Michigan's hosting the big game at the Big House. Same would be true for a Hyatt in Columbus if the Ohio State University is hosting the Michigan-Ohio game that year. Those are going to be two very different super peaks, just calling out some college football. If there are Hyatts in the vicinity of the Super Bowl, they could mark those as super peak, no problem. World Cup, super peak. Olympics in Los Angeles in 2028, super peak. Makes a certain amount of sense, right? I know doing all 10 of those all at the same time would be a pain in the ass, but like you'd at least have some clarity there. So that makes sense. You could dismiss this rumor offhand for sure. You could say that this is going to be terrible for globalists, and I certainly understand that metric. I do think that keeping milestone rewards safeguarded, that you don't get milestone reward benefits along the way with this card and this structure, certainly makes a fair amount of sense. I'd be interested to see if they're going to do a business version of this card. I'd be interested to see if there's going to be a card in between the 95 and the 795, if this is in fact 795. And I don't think there's any issue with Chase issuing another premium card with a co-brand that is the same as the Sapphire Reserve. It wouldn't be beating the Sapphire Reserve in terms of overall annual fee. So like Chase would be fine with that. The big thing why the CSR went over the top of the club card last year is the club card launched and relaunched and went above the Sapphire Reserve. Like it was never above the Sapphire Reserve before. Oh no, it was slightly above the Sapphire Reserve. So it went $100 past that. Then the Sapphire Reserve went over the top by $100. But I wouldn't be surprised if going forward, like the absolute peak that you'll see with the co-branded cards would be whatever the Sapphire Reserve is. So if the Sapphire Reserve goes to $895, you could see them go up to $895. I wouldn't be surprised to see the club card at some point in the next 12 to 18 months, even though it got refreshed in March of 2025. Considering what United is doing with their cards, I wouldn't be surprised to see them tack on an extra $100 and throw in some new credits or adjust the credits that they have on that card. But we'll have to see. Oh, and if they're going to go to $795 with a premium World of Hyatt card, you could bet your bottom dollar that they're also going to do a premium IHG card at some point, because it's been rumored, and they could juice up their IHG lineup as well. So we'll see. But new rumor, Park Hyatt card from Chase, $795 annual fee, 100,000 point welcome offer. Don't know the structure of it, but there's enough specifics here and enough coincidental timing that I don't think that this is a BS leak. I think that this is coming from Hyatt. Somebody at Hyatt is leaking this, and I have no reason not to think otherwise right now. And again, based on what we saw last week from DoorDash, it stands to reason that something else is coming in April. This card makes sense to launch in April. So we will see, but that's going to do it for this one. If you like what I do, hit the subscribe button down below. Check out the Stack Your Points podcast, stackyourpoints.com. We have merch at stackyourpoints.com. There's a merchandise button. Click that. You'll see me as a raccoon on a coffee mug or on a t-shirt, if you so choose. Check out our live that we do on Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. here on YouTube. Check out the pinned comment for ways to support me outside of YouTube. And if you want to support me further here on YouTube, consider becoming a channel member. $2.99 a month. You can cancel anytime you get videos like this early. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.